Hello, we're here at Service Dogs Inc. I'm so sorry about the previous video going live. We had some mechanical issues going on, so we're gonna start all over again. I apologize again. I hope you're able to tune in again and see what Becky has to say about stays. So please join us here at our Quarantraining Facebook Live video series that we have going on. Back to Becky, here we go.
Hi guys. Apparently I was sideways last time, so that must have been fun for y'all to watch. But we're going to get back started teaching our stays and going into playing hide and seek with your dog. So our goal is to be able to hide a toy and send our dog to go find it. A toy that they really enjoy playing with. And that's going to really stimulate them mentally. It'll help tire them out. It's great, like if you're having a lot of thunderstorms, you can't get outside. It's an excellent game that you can play inside. But it's super handy, especially if you're by yourself, if your dog knows how to stay, to play this game. If your dog doesn't know how to stay, then you can tether your dog. But I thought we'd just go through some little basics about how to teach your dog to stay. So I've got Sky here, and he does know stay, so he's probably not going to be popping up as much as your dog at home will if your dog doesn't know stay, but we can still talk through the basics. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach him to remain stationary while I take a step in each direction. So I'm going to start with a step back, and then I'll take a step to either side, and if he holds his position, he gets a cookie each time. So for each step, actually. And then I also, whenever you're teaching a stay, you also have to teach a release word so that your dog knows when the stay is finished. So I could call him to me, but I can also use a release word. And here at SDI, we use the word free. So stay is the word that means don't move, and then free means you can move again, right? So we can teach a sit stay or we can teach a down stay. I'll show you real quick what I'm talking about with Sky and a sit stay. And basically, as I progress this behavior, I'm just going to add a step in each direction. So if I can do one step back and treat, and I can do a step to each side, and he's good, then I'm going to try 2 steps each direction, treating each one. And then I'm going to try 3, until I'm going to be able to try to work myself in a circle around my dog. That's going to be my first stay goal. Can I walk in a circle around with my dog with them staying stationary? Stays are really handy to have around the house, so and it's really great impulse control exercise for your dog as well. So I'll show you what this looks like. Sky. Okay, so I'm just holding stay. I'm taking a step back. I'm going to come right back, and he gets a treat for holding that. Okay. Step to the side. I really don't have to keep saying stay, but especially when the dog's first learning the cue, it's not going to hurt. You don't want to say it over and over. Step this way, coming back. So he's making it look really easy. I want you to know that if he were to start to pop up and it was a new dog, all I'm going to do is put him right back where he was and tell him the information that he needs. Sit. So if he were to start standing, to me it's a little mini emergency, and I want to be a little urgent about getting him right back into that sit. So, and then I just progress by adding more steps in each direction. So as I go to the sides, I add steps and I start to turn a little bit. Okay. And as I'm progressing this really fast, you guys would stay on each step for many repetitions. Probably, like try each step about 10 times before you're moving on. But ultimately, I'm going to be able to turn my back on him. I'm going to be able to walk into a different room, and he's going to be maintaining his stay. And I'm also going to be teaching him the word free. Free. Hey, Sky. Okay. So the free just means that he can get up. Yes, that's what that means. Good boy. Okay. So now that we have this, the next thing that you need is a toy that your dog likes, or if your dog isn't into toys, you can play the same game with food. Unless you have a service dog. So if you have one of our service dogs, I would not play this game with food because we want our dogs to leave that food on the ground alone. Sit. So Sky really likes this toy here. He thinks it's fun. The key to playing hide and seek, to teach your dog to search for it, you have to make it easy at first because they don't know the game. So they're not going to understand to search for something that they can't see or find if they haven't had success. So the first time that I hide it, I'm going to hide it in plain sight. So that's super easy, right? He's going to be able to find that. Yay, Sky! He can have fun. Good running all around here playing, but hey, at home, if your dog wants to run around and have a big party every time he finds his toy, sweet, that helps him get his energy out too. This time I'm going to put Skyna down. Stay. Okay, this time I'm going to just go a little bit around a corner, okay? So he's going to be just out of sight, but still super easy because he can see right where I'm going. Maybe stick it out just a little bit. Ready? Oh, Sky, are you ready? I'm going to use my voice to build that excitement. Free, find it. Find it, Sky. Where'd it go? Oh, yay! There it was. Awesome. What you got? Right here? Yay, awesome. Now I'm going to test my stay a little bit. When I go back here the next time, I'm going to go all the way into the room. I might even squeak that toy to build his excitement. And I'm going to be checking and making sure that he's holding his downstay. I'm going to be right back here to make sure that he's holding it. It's just a little farther into the room. It's right under a table leg, so we'll have to look a little bit harder, but not super hard yet. Sky, ready? Free, find it. Where'd it go? Find it, Sky. Oh, yay! There it is. Awesome. What a good boy. Sky. Yeah, there you are. Awesome. Thank you. So we're going to do one last one. We're going to make it just a little bit challenging before we send you over to Jane. This time I'm going to try to make it really out of sight and see if he's engaged and understands the game enough that he'll really play. Because this is the first time I've played hide and seek with Sky. Stay. Thought he was going to get up there, but he didn't. So we're going to put it right back here. So that's definitely not obvious anymore. You ready? Ready? Free, find it! Ready, go, Sky. Oh, it was too easy. Yay! Good job, Sky. So, you can keep making this game harder and harder just by trying to hide things at a harder and harder level. So that I think Sky's kind of trying to get into our Pup-sicles over there, having a bit of a distraction. So, but just make it harder. You can hide it under beds, and your dog's really going to start using their nose more. Hide it in different rooms. If you have a hallway, your dog doesn't know what bedroom you went into, it will really start to take some time, and it's a fun game for your dogs to play, especially with your kids. So now we're going to talk a little bit about another treat, another enrichment activity that you can do with your dogs, especially now that it's getting hot. Jane's going to tell you about Pup-sicles.
As Becky was just saying, today we are going to be going over a very tasty treat for your dog. I have a couple different things here, and I'm going to explain everything about this process. So first of all, just like it sounds, Pup-sicles are popsicles for your dog. So obviously all of the ingredients need to be dog safe and very appropriate for dogs to eat. So there are two parts of making a Pup-sicle, and I consider them to be either a base or an addition. So what this means is for bases, it's going to be the thing that really keeps everything solid. So explain that. So we have here this ice tray, and then I also have just a basic plastic cup. And what I then do is there's a couple different options. So I have this canned pumpkin, and I'm always very careful to not use any of the spiced pumpkin like you would use for filling a pie or anything like that. So we have the canned pumpkin, and then we don't have Greek yogurt, but Greek yogurt is another great option. And what you do with that, you want to make sure it's plain unsweet, so it's safe for your dog. And then we have chicken broth and regular old cup of water here. And then we also have some peanut butter. And be very careful with peanut butter. A lot of people think it isn't safe. The right type of peanut butter is safe. You just need to make sure it doesn't have any xylitol. So, additions are going to be things like you can use unseasoned cooked chicken. Make sure there are no bones, of course, because that's splinters. You can also use fruits and veggies, so things like apples, bananas, blueberries, strawberries, countless other fruits. And then veggies, you can use things like, so here I have some blueberries and green beans. And you can use green beans, carrots, different various type of vegetables that maybe your dog might like. And then, of course, you can also use dog treats, or you can use their kibble. What I'm going to show you, so you can literally combine any of these things in any different way you want to. So you can make savory popsicles, you can make sweet popsicles, whatever your heart wants to do. So for this, with the plastic cup, I'm gonna explain. If you don't have something like this that you want to sacrifice to put dog things in, then you can always find a plastic cup or something and fill it partially. So for this one, I'm gonna do a little bit of chicken broth, and I'm gonna do some of these green beans. Got a little bit of blueberry in there too. And if I really wanted, I could take a little bit of pumpkin, put that in there. And pumpkin is also really good for your dog if it has any sort of stomach issues. So a little bit calmer on their stomach than peanut butter or something like that. And I'm also gonna add a little bit of water. So what I would then do is put this in the freezer for a couple hours, however long it takes. And once it's frozen, rather than having to cut it out or anything like that, because I would not give it to your dog with the plastic on it, but you could flip it over, which I won't do because it's liquid right now. But you can flip it over and then put it under like a hot, like warm water or something like that, just to loosen it up. And then when it pops out, you have something similar to this, which is actually one done with chicken broth, a little bit of water, and some treats. And yeah, there's a whole variety of different things you can do. As I mentioned with peanut butter, maybe use in moderation because it is very high in caloric value for one, and it can lead to a bit of an upset stomach if you have too much. But we would love to see your creations, any combinations of things you come up with, so feel free to share it in the comments. And gonna give this one to our little sweet Beatrice here. What do you think? Isn't that good?
She approves.
She does approve.
And now we're gonna go back over to Becky.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us for Quarantraining today, and we will hopefully see you on Friday. We're going to be back here at 2, giving you more fun things to do with your dog while you're all stuck together in the house. Like us, follow us, and please donate to help us train more service dogs for people with physical disabilities and people that are deaf or hard of hearing here in Texas. We do give out all those dogs free of charge.